Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
Fire tears through a part of an Orange County school, triggering a 3-alarm response and causing damage to several classrooms.
An emotional homecoming for an LA couple that was held in Qatar for nearly 2 years after being cleared in the death of their adopted daughter.
And rain is back in the 7-day forecast. Dana Romero tells us when we could see some showers. Good evening. I'm Alex Michelson in for Joy Rand.
I'm Giovanna Lara. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. Tonight we begin with this story. 2 classrooms up in flames and several more damaged in a 3-alarm fire. So far there's no word on a cause, but Bolsa Grande High School in Garden Grove will be open tomorrow. As Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell tells us, teachers and administrators are scrambling to find new rooms for several classes.
Flames were spotted at Bolsa Grande High School around 1 this afternoon. These photos taken by eyewitnesses show heavy smoke pouring out of a building housing several classrooms. When Garden Grove firefighters arrived, they found 2 rooms engulfed in flames.
They initiated a fire attack. We ended up going to approximately 3 alarms. The fire's now under control. It took us about approximately 1 hour to get it under control.
One firefighter suffered minor injuries to his hands and feet while battling the blaze and was taken to a hospital for treatment. 2 classrooms were devastated by the flames. 6 others sustained heavy smoke and water damage. School officials say there were people on campus when the fire broke out, attending a ceremony in the gym. Teachers and students gathered on campus after learning about the fire. One of the classrooms that burned was used by a teacher whose subjects include Vietnamese American history. His students say it's a big loss.
It's just really sad when I heard it because I know all his stuff from Vietnam and all his travels are in there, all of his mementos. It was just really sad because he's a really nice teacher.
It's my first period teacher. He teaches economic honors and AP civics. So I thought it would be really devastating to see his room getting burned and all the memories he had in that room gone.
Administrators tell us classes will be moved to the gym, the library, the cafeteria, and other areas of the campus when school is back in session tomorrow. In Garden Grove, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Firefighters say a tow truck driver is to blame for a fast-moving fire that tore through a 3-story condominium in Pacoima yesterday. They say the driver was transferring gasoline from small containers into a 55-gallon drum when the fumes reached an ignition source, such as a pilot light flame. Firefighters say it's unclear whether the driver is one of the people who was hurt. They say the fire caused $350,000 worth of damage to the condo and its contents.
Tonight, police are looking for whoever shot and killed a 16-year-old in Compton. The shooting happened just after 12:30 this afternoon on the 1500 block of East Queensdale Street. Investigators say the suspect walked up to the victim and then words were exchanged. The suspect then shot the teen and ran off. They say the victim was on his way to see his girlfriend. It's unknown if the shooting is gang-related. An LA couple is getting a warm welcome home at a Pasadena church. They were held in Qatar for nearly 2 years before being cleared in the death of their adopted daughter. Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride has more from Lake Avenue Church, where the couple addressed parishioners.
Matt and Grace and Emmanuel and Josiah Huang are home and are here with us.
The congregation at Lake Avenue Church has been praying for this day for 2 years. Matthew and Grace Wong were released from prison in Qatar this week after being falsely accused in the death of their daughter. The Wongs wanted to spend their first Sunday back home worshiping with their church family.
We're really glad, really excited to be here to worship with you, who are our church family. It was just something that we've longed for so long.
The Wongs moved from California to Qatar in 2012 when Matthew Wong was hired to work as an engineer for the 2022 World Cup in Doha. When their adopted daughter Gloria died of dehydration and a rare disease, authorities were suspicious. The initial police report raised questions about why they had adopted children from Africa, because cross-cultural families are rare in Qatar. Authorities were suspicious the Wongs could be involved in human trafficking. They were convicted of negligence. The California Innocence Project argued their appeal, and a Qatari judge overturned their conviction. But the Wongs were still not allowed to leave the country until Wednesday. The U.S. ambassador to Qatar accompanied them to the airport to make sure they could board their flight.
I don't think that there was a single day when you were not in our hearts and in our thinking and in our prayers. And to have you home is the greatest news and the greatest Christmas present that we ever could have.
The Wongs say they are grateful to God and to everyone who supported them and kept them in their prayers.
The situation this past 2 years has been extremely difficult, but it's taught us a lot about patience and trusting God. And we're just beginning to realize the amazing hidden blessings that God has brought through this crisis.
And to help the Wongs get financially back on their feet, church members were asked to put a little extra in the collection plate today. Reporting live in Pasadena, I'm Melissa McBride, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Melissa, thank you. We have breaking news to get to. Protesters are out tonight again in Berkeley. This is a live look from our sister station KGO. There appears to be about 200 demonstrators out there. They've been marching and carrying signs, walking right in the middle of city streets and blocking traffic. Police in riot gear are now out in force. Last night, several people were hurt and at least 6 protesters were arrested in Berkeley.
6 detainees that were held for more than 12 years at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, have been transferred to Uruguay to be resettled as refugees. All 6 were detained as suspected militants with ties to al-Qaeda, but they were never charged. In 2009, President Obama signed an order to close the Guantanamo Bay detention facilities. Officials say that 136 detainees now remain there, but several more releases are expected by the end of the year. Uruguay's president agreed to take the men earlier this year, but he delayed transferring them until after the country's recent presidential election.
We're learning more about that daring rescue effort in Yemen that ended in heartbreak. A captive American was under a death sentence from al-Qaeda. He was just minutes from salvation when a terrible twist of fate doomed him. ABC's Chuck Sievertson has more.
With an American hostage's life on the line, U.S. Special Forces opted for a high-risk rescue mission.
You go forward with an operation like this because you have no other choice.
Taking off from a U.S. air base in Djibouti. Some 40 commandos from the elite SEAL Team 6 touched down about 6 miles from the al-Qaeda hideout to avoid detection by aircraft noise. The team sneaked up on foot to within 100 yards of the compound. Then, disaster. One of the al-Qaeda guards, taking an outdoor bathroom break, spotted the U.S. task force. That set off a ferocious 10-minute gun battle in which most but not all of the al-Qaeda guards were killed. None of the U.S. forces died. But one al-Qaeda gunman had the time he needed to shoot 33-year-old U.S. photojournalist Luke Summers and fellow captive Pierre Corky, a South African aid worker. Medical teams tried to save them, but one of them died in the air on the way to a Navy ship offshore. The other died aboard in the ship's medical bay.
My name is Luke Summers.
Summers from Sacramento, California, was kidnapped last year. Al-Qaeda forced him to record this message and threatened to kill him on Saturday. Now the U.S. promises punishment.
Daesh has no monopoly on terror. But in the midst of acts of terror and even more, we are seeing the potential of the emergence of a new regional alignment, with little in common but a shared aversion to extremism.
Chuck Sievertson, ABC News, New York.
Here at home, a 28-year-old woman has been arrested in connection to a stabbing death in Lomita. 31-year-old Roderick Dunbar was found lying on the sidewalk with stab wounds early yesterday morning. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Witnesses say they heard some type of disturbance before the stabbing occurred. The female suspect was taken into custody on murder charges. She's being held on $1 million bail. And a robbery suspect is shot and killed by police inside a Las Vegas casino. It happened early this morning at the Rio near the Las Vegas Strip. Police said 2 plainclothes detectives were doing surveillance on the suspect. They say on previous occasions the man has held up casino employees with a gun and suggested he's carrying explosives. Officers confronted the suspect and used a stun gun to disable him. They say the suspect then reached toward his waist, and that's when detectives shot him. Police say the man had a gun on his waist. No one else was hurt in the incident.
At least 2 people are confirmed dead after a powerful typhoon slams into the Philippines. The storm is sending nearly 1 million people into shelters. ABC's Hamish McDonald is experiencing the storm firsthand.
The eye of the storm is sweeping across the Philippines. In its way, homes, shops and families. Trees are being pushed to their limits as fierce winds lash the coastline.
This man was rescued by Coast Guards after floating at sea for hours.
Millions have now been forced to evacuate to shelters like this. Hundreds of people are crammed into converted classrooms to wait out the storm. Overnight, as the typhoon edged its way towards this village, we went in search of those who'd been left behind.
Just spotted two people. They must be the last family left on this whole strip at
67-year-old Samuel says he's seen this all before. In his village, he is the last man standing. But not for long.
Time to get out, time to go.
Officials are here to force evacuations.
As this storm passes through, the real work will begin. They'll need to find out what damage has been done and try to rebuild.
Again, that was ABC's Hamish McDonald in the Philippines, and luckily we don't have anything like that here.
Not at all, not even close.
Yeah, Danny Romero now with a look at our weather. Danny.
Yeah, luckily for them in the Philippines, things have now calmed down quite a bit there. Now those 155-mile-per-hour winds down to 75 miles per hour and still weakening, missing like the major population centers like Manila and Cebu. So far, there's some damage, but not quite as bad as it's been in the past. Now, back to us, and I got to tell you, I mentioned how good it is for us. How about this? A gorgeous review of sunset earlier tonight. Laguna Beach at sunset on a Sunday, a December Sunday, by the by, to let you know. And here's the temps that are pretty mild over the Southland right now. 66 degrees for Ontario. A cool and crisp 42 up at Wrightwood, 52 for Victorville, Palmdale at 53 degrees. We're seeing a few spots a little on the warmer side. In the 70s, there's a look down around Santa Ana at 71 degrees, but Long Beach is 65. Santa Monica 64, Van Nuys 66, and Oxnard is 63. Pretty mild temps now. And we are enjoying this mild condition for another couple of days or so. Daytimes with a lot of sunshine, temps pushing 80 degrees in inland spots, 70s on the coast. But we see clouds moving in tonight. Those clouds giving us partly cloudy conditions, 57 for tonight. Just a hint of what's to come. Some high clouds sneaking in the next couple of days. Temps still on the warm side, but then it really turns around at the end of the week. I'll show you that when I come back with a live Mega Doppler 7000 HD 7-day forecast in just a bit. Right now, Giovanna and Alex, it's all yours.
Danny, thank you. Today is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. It was December 7th, 73 years ago, that America was shaken by the surprise attack.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Those words spoken by President Franklin Roosevelt following the bombing by Japanese pilots that killed nearly 2,500 people and wounded 1,000 more. More than half of the U.S. Pacific Fleet was destroyed. The attack abruptly prompted America to enter World War II. More than 50 World War II veterans came together at the Pearl Harbor Visitor Center today to commemorate the 73rd anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Some 2,500 people were expected to attend the ceremony, overlooking the USS Arizona Memorial in Hawaii, including 4 of the 9 remaining Pearl Harbor survivors.
Eyewitness News returns with these news stories. Up next, where a bar owner is apologizing for a drink special some are calling insensitive, even racist.
Plus, the sights and sounds from today's Ciclavia, LA's 11th version of the Two-Wheeled Festival, when Eyewitness News returns.
A bar owner in St. Joseph, Missouri is apologizing after offering a Michael Brown drink special. This comes after a grand jury did not indict a white police officer for fatally shooting the unarmed black teen. Reporter Mitch McCoy spoke to the bar owner.
I meant absolutely no harm in it. It was just a shot special and that was it.
Rodney, who did not want to give his full name or go on camera, is the owner of Mugshots Pub in St. Joseph. He's caught a lot of heat after offering a Michael Brown drink special, 6 shots for $10. Michael Brown is the unarmed black teenager shot and killed by a Ferguson, Missouri police officer in August. The shooting and grand jury's decision sparked months of protests. Someone from inside the bar took the photo and shared it on social media. Rodney regrets the decision to post the special.
Apparently I shouldn't have used it. So I should have thought a little bit more about it before I made it a shot special.
Larilyn Hayes is one person who re-shared the photo on Facebook.
It was very distasteful. That is somebody's child that was killed. I don't see where the joke of that, is, period. It's not funny at all.
Rodney says he saw the drink special, 6 shots for $10, from another bar in St. Joseph.
Didn't even think about it. I'd seen it on Facebook. It was going all over. The picture was from another bar.
Rodney said after he closed the bar for the night, he saw the comments about the special and he took the special down right away. People on social media have been threatening to protest. One of those protesters reached out to Rodney through Facebook, and they were able to work out their differences.
What I hope out of this is that our community realizes that this isn't about race, this isn't about anything but police brutality against our people.
Again, that was Mitch McCoy reporting from St. Joseph, Missouri.
The 11th annual Orange County Walk for Autism Peaks got underway today at Angel Stadium of Anaheim. There's an extra word in there, I think. Our own Philip Palmer was the MC. Organizers expected more than 9,000 people to participate in the walk. There are also more than 75 resource fair booths with information for people affected by autism. Along with Philip Palmer, our own Rick Romero, Eileen Frere, and Rob McMillan were at the ABC7 booth signing their pictures.
Yeah,
Lots of fun out there.
9,000 participants is really something. Yeah, good
Great
weather
cause,
for
too.
them.
Yeah.
Glad it happened this weekend and not next weekend.
Because, it would be like with umbrellas and boots and things like that. Yeah, but today, gorgeous, sunny, sunshine all around Southern California, and still a few more days of that, so soak it up. Because then we get soaked ourselves by the weekend. Let's look up at our live HD camera out to set up in the Irvine Spectrum. And there we can see Sunday night settling in quite nicely over Orange County. Downtown skies are partly cloudy right now and 64 degrees with 73% relative humidity. And today, 76 with a high downtown, well above the normal temp of 68 degrees. And tomorrow morning, watch the sunrise at 6:46. A couple of things to watch here. One low that's tracking to the north, bringing us just a little cloud cover for us. Nothing too strong at all. What we are seeing, though, is another low whipping up out here. That's tracking its way again, staying north of us the next couple of days. Again, just bringing us a few clouds. What's going to change our weather will be this cold front still lurking way out in the distance. But when this cold front makes its way into Southern California, and we're thinking pushing in right around Thursday. So when that cold front gets to us, then we see things turn around. We now get cold air coming in with that rain, wind, and snow. And a real good storm coming our way by the weekend. Here's numbers tonight. Down to 42 in Wrightwood, 39 for Lancaster, some of the cooler spots, 57 for Malibu overnight. And then tomorrow, a good day at the beach, 72 when the clouds finally clear out. Cool in Palmdale at 68, warm in Santa Clarita at 78, with a 78 for Riverside as well, and San Bernardino up to 76. Now the 7-day power to AccuWeather. Watch the changes. Nice and warm to start the week, 70s there. Come Thursday, cold front starts moving in, 69. The temps drop down. More so to 63 on Friday when the main rain moves in, 1 to 2 inches in this system on Friday. Still leftover showers on Saturday for the valleys and the Inland Empire. Starting the week nice and warm, upper 70s there. Then plummeting down to the 60s. 66 Thursday, 60 by Friday when the real front comes in. The cold air, the rain, the wind, 2 to 3 inches of rain. Still showers left over come Saturday as well. Beaches will be partly cloudy tomorrow after the morning marine layer moves out. More so with cloud cover on Wednesday, and then here come the showers on Thursday. Up to 1.5 inches of rain, some coastal and coastal valleys on Friday, with showers moving out by Saturday night into Sunday. Mountain areas will be clear and cool to start with. Temps in the 50s for the highs. Overnight lows in the 20s. Still pretty cold, right? Watch this. Down to the 40s for the highs when the storm moves in. Teens for the overnight numbers on Saturday. Snow level down to 4,000 feet. Anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain on that main event on Friday. High desert starts out mostly sunny and clear and cool. 60s, high 60s for the highs. And then temps start dropping down to the 50s on Thursday and Friday. And by Saturday and Sunday, staying there, cold days, cold nights, and about an inch of rain or so for the deserts on Friday when that main rain comes through. And still be ready for showers left over on Saturday as well. So temps will be dropping down quite a bit with the system coming in. All right?
Rain and cold.
Yes. And slowly going after that drought, one day at a time.
A little bit at a time, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Jenny. Yeah. The 11th Ciclavia event for Los Angeles got underway today. 6 miles of streets in South LA were closed to motor vehicles for 6 hours. Tens of thousands of cyclists, skaters, and walkers took part. Eyewitness News reporter Q McCrae is among the participants.
Several LA streets were car-free today. Bicyclists had full control of the roads. This was Ciclavia.
We're all excited. This is my 5th Ciclavia.
It's a good time to get together with friends, get some exercise in, see the city.
Tens of thousands of Los Angelinos decided to keep their cars in park and opt for transportation of the two-wheel kind. Mayor Eric Garcetti called the event a huge success.
Today is the 11th Ciclavia. We've done this 10 previous times, but it's the first time that we're exclusively in South Los Angeles.
This year, Ciclavia spanned 6 miles down Martin Luther King Boulevard between Leimert Park and Central.
Ciclavia is done by the people, for the people, and that's something that you feel in the air.
Jaime Ortiz is the godfather of this biking festival. In Bogota, Colombia, he created Ciclovia, meaning open roads, to bring attention to car pollution there and promote healthy living. Nearly 40 years later, his message lives on here in Los Angeles.
You're sitting in a couch while you're driving, but out here, you move your body and you realize, hey, it's not that hard, okay? We can move our bodies, and these bike lanes that they're putting all over LA, I think it's a great thing.
In South LA, I'm Q McCrae, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Up next, the big winner at the weekend box office.
And gas prices dropping again. Can they go any lower? What the experts are saying tonight.
Great news, gas prices are moving still lower. The Automobile Club of America is expecting prices to soon fall another 15 to 20 cents a gallon, and it's likely they'll remain low this winter. The reason? Abundant supply and OPEC's decision to maintain crude oil production. In the LA Long Beach area, the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded is $3.03. In Orange County, it's $2.99.
Yes.
In the Inland Empire, a gallon of regular is averaging $3, and in Ventura County, it is $3.02 a gallon.
Another dominant weekend at the box office for the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1.
We burn. You burn with us.
In its third weekend, the latest Hunger Games installment brought in an estimated $21.6 million on its way to becoming the second highest grossing film of the year. In second, the goofy animated movie Penguins of Madagascar, bringing in $11.1 million. Third this weekend went to Horrible Bosses 2 with $8.6 million. Big Hero 6 came in fourth with $8.1, and the Space Odyssey Interstellar brought in another $8 million during its fifth week at the box office.
We're updating our top stories at 7:30.
Including adding up the damage after flames tear through a part of an Orange County school.
And could a new report on torture spur violence against Americans abroad? That's when Eyewitness News comes right back.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 7:30, a devastating fire at Bolsa Grande High School in Garden Grove. I'm Giovanna Lotta.
I'm Alex Michelson in for Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7:30. That fire broke out around 1 o'clock this afternoon. It gutted 2 classrooms. 6 others had smoke and water damage. Took firefighters about an hour to put out the flames. Now they're trying to figure out the cause. How would this happen, especially on a Sunday? School will be open tomorrow. Teachers and administrators are making plans to move the affected classes into other rooms, such as the library and the cafeteria.
U.S. officials promised to punish the al-Qaeda militants involved in the death of an American hostage during a failed rescue mission in Yemen. Some 40 U.S. Special Forces set out in a high-risk mission to rescue photojournalist Luke Summers of Sacramento, along with South African aid worker Pierre Corky. When they came to about 100 yards of the al-Qaeda compound, a guard spotted them and a gun battle ensued. 10 al-Qaeda militants were killed, but one had time to shoot and wound the hostages. Shortly after, they both died of their injuries.
We will be relentless in our efforts to bring to justice those who have caused this death. Some already have been brought to justice in the raid, but there's much more to do.
On Thursday, the militants released a video threatening to kill Summers this weekend if their unspecified demands were not met.
American embassies around the world are bracing for a potentially explosive report about to be released. The Senate's report includes descriptions of brutal interrogations and of other countries that secretly helped them. President Obama has since banned those activities, but even his Secretary of State is now asking that this report be delayed. More now from ABC's Martha Raddatz.
Tonight, U.S. facilities worldwide are on alert for the release of this still top-secret torture report.
The concern is over our military forces, our diplomats, and other officials around the world, particularly in areas where there are hotspots in the Middle East and North Africa.
All U.S. facilities are being urged to review security and brace for the reaction.
This will, in fact, incite violence, and it's likely to cost someone their life.
The CIA and the Bush administration have already faced heavy criticism for post-9/11 interrogation techniques at so-called black sites across the world. The use of waterboarding stopped many years ago, but according to those who have seen this report, ugly new details about those procedures will be revealed, where prisoners were sexually demeaned and CIA interrogators urged to continue even after concluding no more information could be gleaned. The Muslim world has erupted many times before when the U.S. and the West have been accused of religious and cultural slights. Tonight, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee says if this report is released, groups like ISIS will take full advantage.
They don't have to be accurate or right. They just have to believe it's true, and they'll take advantage of that. We know that ISIL propaganda operations, this is the mother lode for them.
Again, that was ABC's Martha Raddatz reporting.
The search is on for a Southern California tourist who has gone missing in New York City. This is a picture of 30-year-old Stephen Reynoso from Boyle Heights. He took his girlfriend to New York for vacation. He was last seen the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, leaving the Renaissance Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. According to the New York Daily News, Reynoso told his girlfriend he was going to meet up with friends. His girlfriend has since returned to California. The NYPD has opened a missing persons case. Riverside police are searching for a hit-and-run driver who plowed through a group of demonstrators during the city's annual Festival of Lights. Amateur video shows protesters scattering as the car barrels right through. It happened as some 50 people were blocking an intersection last night, protesting recent deaths at the hands of police across the country. No one was seriously injured. Protesters got the license plate of the vehicle, described as a dark-colored BMW, but so far there's been no arrest.
Protests are underway right now in Berkeley. Last night in Berkeley, protests left 4 people injured. As ABC's Ron Claiborne reports, with the growing number of protests, the biggest police force in the country is now vowing to make a change.
In Berkeley, California, a protest over that grand jury decision turned ugly. Demonstrators going on a rampage, some of them tossing smoke canisters back at riot police.
If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace.
But mostly the now daily protests sweeping the nation have been non-violent. This weekend, some pro athletes signaling their solidarity. Chicago Bulls star Derrick Rose wearing an I Can't Breathe t-shirt before a game. Football star Reggie Bush donning an I Can't Breathe shirt during warm-up. I Can't Breathe, Garner's last words as he was being arrested last July. In the aftermath of the grand jury decision, the NYPD immediately began retraining its entire police force. all 35,000 officers. Its focus, teaching them ways to avoid using physical or lethal force by using dialogue to talk suspects into compliance and building trust through respect.
Sometimes as a police officer, you're on this adrenaline rush going back and forth, and sometimes those emotions do get caught up in what you're doing, and sometimes you don't think clearly.
Can you train that out of a police officer?
Well, not so much train that out, but you can make them understand that this is going to happen to you.
In an interview with George Stephanopoulos, New York City's mayor vowed that the retraining would make a huge difference.
If you train the police in a different approach to use of force, in a different approach to communication with community, a different approach to building relationships with the community, you won't see these tragedies.
The goal is to change how police officers in the city do their jobs, how they handle situations like this protest tonight behind me, how they handle incidents like that led to the death of Eric Garner on Staten Island. The concept the NYPD says to talk down, not take down. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, New York.
The widow of Eric Garner says her husband should not have been put in a fatal chokehold for selling loose cigarettes. Esau Garner told NBC's Meet the Press police knew him by name, knew he sold them, and had approached him several times before, even giving him the nickname Cigarette Man. She says there was no need for excessive force.
I really don't feel like it's a black and white thing. I feel like it's just something that he continued to do, and the police knew. You know, they knew. It wasn't like it was a shock. They knew.
A grand jury's decision not to indict the New York police officer who put Garner in the chokehold has sparked protests across the country. Garner's mother has urged demonstrators to keep the protests peaceful.
There are new developments tonight in the case of 43 missing college students in Mexico. Investigators have now identified the remains of one of those students, but families of the missing say that their quest for justice is not over. Rafael Romo has more on the case that's triggering outrage around the globe.
The remains belonging to 19-year-old Alexander Mora Venancio are the first to be identified. He's one of the 43 students from a rural teachers' college in southern Mexico who went missing in late September. The announcement was made on the school's Facebook page. A legal representative for the families of the missing also confirmed the news to CNN. At a protest in Mexico City Saturday night, a group of parents acknowledged the announcement, but said the search for the rest of the group is not over.
Hijo, donde quiera que estés.
My son, wherever you are, I'll keep looking for you, even if my heart is breaking by the news, this father said. The spokesman for the parents of the missing says their quest is not over.
Que donde quiera que esté, que sepa.
No matter where the missing might be, we, the parents, are not going to stop until justice is done, Felipe de la Cruz said. The Mexican Attorney General announced in early November his investigation indicated all students were dead.
No tengo ninguna duda.
Based on circumstantial evidence and interrogation of suspects, Murillo said, the students were abducted by corrupt police officers, turned over to a criminal gang, executed, and their bodies burnt in a landfill before being tossed in plastic bags into a river.
The challenge of positively identifying the human remains is daunting. According to Mexican officials, the bodies were so badly burnt that they were only able to recover charred bone fragments and ashes. Many victims may never be identified.
Last week, Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto visited the state of Guerrero for the first time since the students disappeared.
Es claro que aquí la intervención del crimen organizado.
The president said organized crime is to blame for the disappearance of the students. He also said his government is resolved to get to the bottom of the case. Rafael Ramos in Atlanta.
And much more news still to come here on Eyewitness News on LA56, including where carbon monoxide is being blamed for 2 deaths in a recording studio.
And a startling development in a murder trial. How one witness's changed testimony could get a gunman off the hook.
Heather, I'm Danny Romero. A gorgeous day today, but then what about the week ahead? I'll tell you with a live Mega Dot 7000 HD7 day in just a bit.
2 people are dead and a dozen others sickened from carbon monoxide poisoning inside a New Jersey recording studio. First responders arrived to find a 39-year-old man and a 29-year-old woman dead on the second floor of the Streets Rehearsal Studio, which is a converted factory building in Passaic. Witnesses say they quickly knocked down the doors in different units and told everyone inside to get out and get medical treatment. The cause of the poisoning is under investigation.
Now to a really interesting story out of Montana. Jurors are hearing the case of a man who shot and killed a teenage exchange student. The question, whether the defendant is protected by Montana's Stand Your Ground law. ABC's Brandy Hitt has more on how the dramatic 911 calls are now playing in court.
Who shot him? My husband. Stunning new details in the murder trial of Marcus Karma, the Montana father accused of gunning down 17-year-old Darren Dede, a German exchange student who walked into Karma's garage.
Where was he shot? I don't know. He's face down. He's barely breathing.
That 911 call made by Karma's common-law wife played for the jury Friday. Janelle Flager first telling detectives Dede screamed out, "No, no, please," before being shot last April, but then changed her story on the stand, saying she doesn't remember him pleading for his life.
I was absolutely traumatized. I mean, I was being asked questions within a half an hour of holding somebody's brain in my hand.
Thursday, a hairdresser who cut Karma's hair testified that he was extremely angry about kids robbing him in the days before the shooting and intent on getting them.
He had said he's really tired and that he'd been sitting up for 3 days waiting to shoot some effing kids.
And more shocking testimony Friday from the family landscaper, who days before the shooting says Karma came outside naked, pulling a gun on him after he set off the home's motion sensors.
I was scared. I was frozen.
Karma set up those motion sensors and this camera after being robbed before. Now charged with deliberate homicide, he told police seen in this dash cam video he was protecting himself when Dede, who was allegedly looking for alcohol, walked in.
He had to take the steps, unfortunately, to take his life.
But prosecutors paint a different picture of an angry homeowner on the edge who baited Dede with an open garage, purposely trapping the teen inside.
That was ABC's Brandy Hitt reporting. That trial will resume tomorrow and is scheduled to continue through December 19th.
Big changes coming in our weather. Danny Romero has his complete forecast up next.
Plus, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge arrived in New York City tonight. We'll take a look ahead at their 3-day U.S. tour.
And the Galaxy send Landon Donovan out on top. Coming up in sports, we'll hear from the retiring superstar.
All right, I know you're excited, Giovanna.
Sure.
America's royal visitors have landed. William and Kate have arrived in New York City late this afternoon.
The royal couple arrived at the Carlisle Hotel this afternoon to crowds of screaming fans. It's the city that never sleeps, and as ABC's Rena Ninen tells us, it looks like these royal visitors are already up to speed.
Squeals of delight on the streets of New York.
It's all amazing with me.
The British flag in bright colors flickering from the top of the Empire State Building, a different kind of red, white, and blue. All part of the welcome mat for the British royal couple, arriving Sunday evening for a whirlwind tour of the Big Apple and Washington, D.C., a first for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge.
Neither of them has ever set foot in either city.
An action-packed 3 days for both William and Kate.
They are doing a number of things to support charities they really care about: disadvantaged young people, mental health, illegal wildlife trade.
Plus a visit to the top of the Empire State Building and the 9/11 Memorial. And for William, a quick side trip to Washington, D.C. to meet with President Obama on Monday. Later that day, the royal couple will be courtside at the Nets-Cavs basketball game in Brooklyn, getting a glimpse of American royalty, King LeBron James, and maybe even Jay-Z and Queen Bee. The couple's first child, George, a future king like his father, is not along on this first glimpse of this part of the new world.
Well, baby George is taking a pass on this one. I think he decided the program was a little busy for him.
George, just months away from welcoming a new brother or sister.
I think that the focus will very much be on Kate, on what she's wearing, on her growing baby bump, and on this next royal baby.
That royal baby due in April. Rena Ninen, ABC News, New York.
Could you imagine if Jay-Z and Beyonce were sitting next to them?
Wow.
I mean, would people's heads just explode?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's like it all kind of comes together, right?
Too much.
Kiss cam would be on that,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
That's right.
Yes, good idea.
Kiss cam.
Yes.
There's the idea right there, ladies
My
and gentlemen.
favorite part of any
That's
sports.
that is the one. Well, you know, you get outside and kiss all you want the next few days. Gorgeous sunshine for us outdoors, and I tell you what, if you want to kiss in the rain, those are pretty good too. That's coming this weekend. I'm just saying. We got it all covered, my friend. What? Am I wrong or am I wrong? I mean, come on. Here we go. Our LAX camera shows a pretty good night, a Sunday night over Southern California. Downtown skies partly cloudy right now, and we're showing 64 degrees, 73% relative humidity. Watch what's changing our weather. Pretty nice weather, right? Here's this high-pressure ridge giving us a little bit of onshore flow. Move ahead Sunday into Monday. The high is still in place somewhat, although getting kind of knocked down a little bit by this low that's tracking towards our north. We just get some clouds out of this, all we're going to get this first time around. But it continues to move, and watch Tuesday into Wednesday, another low coming in. This one's still staying towards the north. Our system comes in after that. On Thursday, a cold front with cold air, wind, rain, and snow is on the way by Thursday. Here's our numbers tonight. 53 for Riverside. Down to 53 in Santa Clarita as well. Colder, Frazier Park at 39. Tomorrow's high is pretty nice if you're inland. 78 for Santa Clarita, although cooler in the desert at 68. 74 for Encino tomorrow. Glendale goes to 75, as does Covina. Mission Viejo 76. Palm Springs to 79. Now the 7-day power back AccuWeather watch out starts out so nice this week. Sunshine, mid-70s for the highs for LA Metro, Orange County. Then the cold air starts to move in. We drop down to 69. The big rain hits us on Friday, and colder weather there too as well. Leftover showers on Saturday. The valleys and the Inland Empire showing sun and clouds mixing together here. Still mostly sunny on Tuesday and Wednesday. Numbers in the mid to upper 70s. Great afternoon highs. But look how much it drops down to 66. The cold air starts to move in. The rain starts Thursday night. Heavier rain on Friday, 2 to 3 inches. And some of those upslope areas could see even more. And then still showers left over come Saturday before we start to clear out on Sunday. Beaches, some morning clouds, a marine layer, then some partly cloudy afternoon. But still, look at 70s for the highs through Wednesday. And then the cold air and the storm moves in. Thursday into Friday, the biggest rain day. And then Saturday, still, we have showers. We call about a 30% chance on Saturday. But by Sunday, mostly sunny skies and 67 for the high. Mountain areas will have clear skies to start the week and temps in the 50s. Not bad for this time of year, but watch what happens. Numbers really start to drop, and that cold air moves in, dropping down the 40s for the highs. 41 by Saturday. Overnight lows in the 20s and down to the teens. Rain 3 to 5 inches. Snow level dropping down to 4,000 feet before it clears out on Sunday. High deserts mostly sunny. Clear days Tuesday, Wednesday. Numbers to the mid-upper 60s for the highs. As we look towards the weekend, there too the rain and the colder air moves in. Temps drop down to the 50s. And that, about an inch of rain or so for the desert areas on Friday. Saturday starts to move out. Sunday, gone.
Right?
Good to hear.
Yeah. Right.
Although we need the rain and we like it.
Yes, indeed. Kurt Sandoval, what's going on in sports?
Speaking of rain, the Galaxy rain today. It's the ultimate high five. Landon Donovan ends his illustrious career with the Galaxy today, helping this team, this franchise, to an unprecedented 5th MLS championship. Donovan looking for his 3rd cup in the past 4 years. Scoreless against New England, and check out Zardes. Guy's incredible with the corner shot that scores 1-zip Galaxy. 78th minute, Revolution looking for the equalizer, and they found it off the foot of Chris Tierney. A little deflection that finds the post and in. Landon had a chance to finish with a storybook ending. Talk about so close, but yet so far. They go to extra time. Robbie Keane, remember he was named the MVP on Monday, and Sunday when that right foot catches in extra time, you can book the party. Dare I say he has his own revolution there. 2-1, the Galaxy take it. Listen to what Landon Donovan had to say afterwards.
There's a lot of obvious excitement, some sadness. There's uncertainty, and just pure joy for this team and for what we did. And it just feels strange, I guess is the best way to put it. But all in all, I'm really proud of what this team accomplished this year. And it's so nice to be in that locker room and see so many happy faces. And for me, that's as enjoyable as anything now as you get older.
Thanks for the memories, Landon Donovan. In college football, eliminating the BCS did not eliminate the great debate. In the inaugural year of a 14 playoff system, Texas Christian was 3rd last week. They won convincingly yesterday, 55-3, and they dropped to 6th. Baylor, with just 1 loss, sits at 5. So here's your Final 4. Alabama keeps its hold on number 1. They'll get Ohio State as the Buckeyes check in after their whipping of Wisconsin. Oregon stays at 2. They'll play number 3 Florida State in the Rose Bowl. Sad news, I have to work New Year's Day. I get to cover that game! Are you kidding me? Ohio State and Florida State? What a blessing. Championship game will be in Dallas on the 12th. Both UCLA and USC found their way to the bowl games as well. Check it out. The Bruins will take on Kansas State in the Alamo Bowl on January 2nd. A far cry from their preseason national title thoughts. That game, of course, in San Antonio. The Trojans, meanwhile, will be in Shamu's backyard. Yes, they're going to the Holiday Bowl, where they will play Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, who changed their head coach. Let's look at sports.
Excellent.
Thank you. We'll be right back. A surprising donation to a TV station toy drive in Iowa. A couple dropped off boxes and boxes of Barbie dolls and accessories, all in their original packaging. Many of the dolls are from the 1970s and 80s and are considered collector's items. Similar dolls sell for $40 to $60 on eBay. One of them, a superstar Barbie from 1976, is worth about $300.
Thank you very much for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7 right here on LA56. LA56 Weekend Theater is next.
Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com. See you tomorrow night at 7 right here on LA56 and at 11 tonight on Channel 7.
Good night.